The snow falls silently in the dense north woods, where the trees stand like silent sentinels. The wind howls through the frozen wilderness, carrying whispers of something unnatural, something monstrous. Legends tell of a creature born from desperation, greed, and the isolation brought on by the icy grip of winter. A creature cursed to wander the earth with an unending hunger. This is the Wendigo, a being so terrifying it has haunted the stories of the Algonquin people for centuries. But where did this chilling tale begin? And could the Wendigo still be lurking in the shadows today? The Wendigo legend originates from the Algonquin-speaking tribes of the northern United States and Canada, stretching across regions where winters are long and merciless. These harsh environments often left people facing starvation, with survival sometimes coming at unimaginable costs. For centuries, these indigenous peoples, including the Cree, Ojibwe, and Innu, shared tales of a malevolent spirit that thrived in the most remote and frigid regions of their homelands. To the people who lived in harmony with the land, winter was a time of survival. Food was scarce, the cold unrelenting, and isolation an ever-present reality. In harsh winters, when survival sometimes seemed impossible, the Wendigo became a grim specter in the collective consciousness. The Wendigo was said to embody the consequences of greed and turning against the natural order. It appeared as a warning. To consume human flesh, even in desperation, was to risk losing one's humanity entirely. The creature became a cautionary tale for those who let selfishness or desperation overshadow their community's needs. According to legend, the Wendigo was once human, a person who, in an act of unthinkable desperation, consumed human flesh to survive. But that act cursed them, their body transformed, reflecting the monstrous hunger that consumed their soul. The Wendigo is a horrifying sight, a grotesque mix of decay and monstrosity. Emaciated and skeletal, as if it were starved to the point of deformity, it is often described as having ash-gray skin stretched taut over protruding bones, as if it were a walking corpse. Its hollow eyes glow with an otherworldly light, and its breath reeks of rot. Long, razor-sharp claws dangle from skeletal fingers. Its lips are chewed or entirely missing because it has eaten them. Its mouth, full of jagged yellowed teeth, is perpetually stained with blood. But beyond its horrifying appearance, what makes the Wendigo truly fearsome is its insatiable hunger for human flesh. It is said that a Wendigo grows in size with every victim it devours, reaching heights that tower over the trees. This constant growth leaves it forever starving, no matter how much it consumes, keeping it painfully thin, its skeletal frame a testament to its eternal starvation, a cruel punishment for its greed. It haunts the forests, stalking its prey with unnerving patience. It is believed to have exceptionally sharp eyesight and hearing, a keen sense of smell, and superior strength and speed in order to overpower its victims. Some say it can mimic human voices, calling for help in the dead of night to lure unsuspecting victims into its trap. Once they're isolated in the wilderness, it attacks them and then feasts on them. The most chilling aspect of the legend is the belief that anyone could become a Wendigo. Those who resort to cannibalism in moments of desperation are said to risk transformation. But it isn't just physical hunger that invites the Wendigo's curse. Unchecked greed or selfishness can open the door as well. Some tribes believe the Wendigo isn't a physical creature at all, but a spirit that possesses the desperate or greedy, warping their minds and driving them to commit unspeakable acts. The possessed person becomes cannibalistic, or otherwise deranged and violent. Some people are believed to be more susceptible to becoming possessed by a Wendigo, including those who are greedy or gluttonous, as well as those who are suffering from hunger or starvation. This spiritual dimension gives the legend its power. The Wendigo is not merely a monster lurking in the forest. It is a reflection of human weakness and the dangers of losing balance with the world. Stories of Wendigo sightings are as chilling as the creature itself. Hunters have reported hearing unnatural howls echoing through the trees. Some tell of an unnatural chill in the air and the smell of death and decay. Others have felt the sensation of being watched, only to catch a fleeting glimpse of a towering figure disappearing into the shadows. One haunting tale speaks of a trapper who vanished during a brutal blizzard. When he reappeared months later, his family swore he wasn't the same. His eyes glowed unnaturally, and his behavior grew increasingly erratic until he vanished into the woods once more, leaving behind only blood-stained snow. As time passed, the Wendigo legend spread beyond the Algonquin tribes and took on new forms. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the term Wendigo psychosis emerged among Western anthropologists to describe a controversial condition where individuals developed an intense craving for human flesh and fear of becoming a cannibal. Though its legitimacy is debated, it added a psychological dimension to the myth. The most infamous story of this condition is that of Swift Runner, a Cree trapper who lived in Alberta, Canada, in the late 19th century. Swift Runner was a respected member of his community, but during the harsh winter of 1878, a time of starvation and misery for the Cree people, something horrifying happened. Stranded with his family and facing starvation, Swift Runner returned to civilization alone, claiming his family had died of hunger. But suspicions arose. Swift Runner was unusually well fed for someone who had supposedly endured such hardship. When authorities investigated, they uncovered a gruesome truth. Swift Runner had killed his wife and children and ate their flesh. Swift Runner claimed he had been possessed by a Wendigo spirit that drove him to commit the unthinkable. Swift Runner was arrested, brought to trial, and in December of 1879, he was hanged at Fort Saskatchewan for his crimes. His story remains a haunting reminder of how deeply the Wendigo legend resonates with themes of survival and moral corruption. Another figure tied to the Wendigo legend is Jack Fiddler, a Cree shaman known for his extraordinary ability to combat Wendigos. Living in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Fiddler claimed to have defeated over a dozen Wendigos during his lifetime. Some of these were said to be people who showed signs of transformation into the creature, often during times of extreme hardship or starvation. However, Fiddler's actions eventually caught the attention of Canadian authorities. In 1907, he and his brother were arrested for the murder of a woman they claimed was becoming a Wendigo. Fiddler insisted that the killing was necessary to protect their community, as the woman had begun exhibiting signs of possession and danger. Despite his explanations, Jack Fiddler was sentenced to prison, where he later died by suicide. His story blurs the lines between myth, justice, and the cultural clash of indigenous spiritual beliefs and colonial law. To his people, Jack Fiddler was a hero, a protector against the dark forces of the Wendigo. To the Canadian government, he was a criminal. For many indigenous tribes, the Wendigo is more than a monster. It's a symbol of the dangers of excess and greed. It reminds us of the importance of community and sharing, especially in times of hardship. It teaches us that to take more than you need is to invite ruin. It is a warning against losing our humanity in the face of adversity. The true terror of the Wendigo lies in the idea that, under the right circumstances, any of us could become one. The Wendigo, a creature of myth, a symbol of warning, or perhaps something more. It represents the dangers of losing oneself to greed, desperation, or hunger. But what if it's not just a legend? What if, deep in the shadowy woods, the Wendigo still waits, its glowing eyes watching, its hunger endless? The next time you hear a voice calling from the trees, will you answer? Or will you remember this tale and stay far, far away? Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let me know your thoughts on this haunting legend in the comments. And if you've heard of other chilling myths like this, share them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories that will keep you looking over your shoulder. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, because you never really know what lurks in the dark.